episode today of the Fitness After 40 podcast. I'm here with Dawn Jackson. She's one of our members. You've been here two years
over
now?
2 years.
Yeah. So we're just going to talk to her a little bit about why fitness is important to you. Why you like coming in here. Just different things about how it's kind of changed your life a little bit. So.
Okay.
Tell us a little bit first just about, your experience, why you like coming in, kind of what made you come in the beginning.
Okay. Actually, I saw one of your advertisements for a 6-week program to try various things, personal training and sample things.
Yeah.
And it was 7 weeks before I was going to the beach. So the 6-week program fit in perfectly. And it actually, it was really beneficial too. So when I came in, did the initial evaluation, I guess you call it, to see where my fitness levels were and kind of went from there. But I did overdo it at first, I will admit that. I was going to come every day, and by day 5, I collapsed pretty much at home and said I need a break. So recovery days are important.
Yes.
So then I started from there. I started coming in 4 days a week. I did 2 cardio classes a week and 2 of the strength training a week.
Okay.
And that worked really well. I loved it. It was great. So.
And you've kind of maintained that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I maintained the 4-day-a-week thing, I think, with very few exceptions until COVID hit, of course.
Yeah.
And then even then I was doing at least 3 at home, because you guys, I applaud you, you went right into online stuff, live classes.
Yeah.
So we were able to still get a general feel for it. Obviously things took a dip.
Yes.
And my fitness level wise during that time, because I didn't have the right level of weights and things along those lines. The equipment that you guys here is great. It's great. So I couldn't maintain that, but it did keep me going.
You kept going, and that was something that a lot of people didn't. They kind of they took 3 months and just watched everything on Netflix and and stuff like that. But
I did notice that when I came back, when you guys were live again, my fitness, my weights that I was using, I had to drop like 5 or 10 pounds under where I was whenever I left. But I think if I had done that and taken off of those months, it would have been back to the beginning. So at least I managed to maintain most of it.
You probably didn't have as much soreness too once you came back in with the weights. It had taken a break and things like that.
Yeah.
But I guess that's something you kind of talk about is what, how did you stay motivated, during the shutdown and things like that to keep doing it? Because again, it's like you're on the little TV screen and stuff. But it's not the same. I mean,
but it is different than it was different than the recorded ones. To be honest, like I know you guys have the recorded ones too, but I didn't get the same feel for them because I like the interaction and being able to talk to you guys and get feedback, especially if I did do something stupid the day before and I tweaked my back or my wrist. I broke my wrist a few years ago, that kind of thing. So I could still ask questions and ask for alterations to work out. So that kind of helped. Where the recorded ones, I have to go by like, what did I used to fill in instead of doing mountain climbers? Right, dead bugs, that kind of thing. So honestly, I think you guys helped keep me motivated. Then there's also the boredom, to be honest. No one was doing anything. We weren't going anywhere.
It's like you're outing for the day.
Right? And when I was at work, I used to walk around the building every hour just to keep a little bit of fitness in there, and I couldn't do that when I was working from home because my house just isn't set up for that. So the exercise did help me, the classes, scheduled classes. I do book them in my calendar, so I come. I don't know if you know that, but they're literally in my calendar as things to do because I don't miss appointments. Yeah,
and that's a big thing we see with a lot of people is the fact of having that appointment. It gets moved into their calendar. If it's there, it gets done. If it's not there, it just doesn't happen at all.
You really can't be one of these, I'll get to the gym sometime this week, because then you keep pushing it. Right? Something else comes up, you have a headache that day, I'm prone to migraine, so I get them a lot. I could very easily come up with excuses not to go. You have to schedule it and make it like a thing, like a regular thing.
And you come straight after work, correct? No? Okay.
No. I get off work at 2.
In the afternoon. So.
No, I get off work at 2, so I'm home for about an hour and a half, and then I come in.
Okay, good.
But I do come in earlier,
Yeah, and that's good. It's definitely, I think, harder in the evening coming in at the end of your day versus at the beginning and things like that.
Mondays were harder for me because I would come at the 5:15 class because my husband wanted to come with me on that one. And for then I'm home over 3 hours, and then that one's a bit harder for me to come in. So
Yeah, but you get here.
I get here.
And you've been consistent with it, and it's paying off, and
Yeah.
you've seen the results of it.
Yeah.
Which talk about that a little bit. What changes you've seen from when you started 2 years ago to where you are now?
Well, obviously I've lost pounds, I've gained muscle, the usual kind of stuff. But I've noticed physically I just feel better. Like I can go up and down stairs and not be winded at all. And there's this famous staircase in the library where I work that when you get to the top, everyone's like, but now when I go up those stairs, I'm not.
That's
like,
good.
you know, I'm
Yeah.
a little bit winded because they're lots of stairs, it's whatever. So it's a little bit, but it's not too bad. But I have noticed like my thighs and stuff, like I'll stand there and they're like steel, which is
Good.
especially in the back, which is kind of weird. Like you poke them and they don't move.
Yeah.
So, you know, and I will be 50 in August, so, you know, that's saying something. Like
Yeah.
normally it goes the other way.
And that's, you know, that's a big thing that we try to, you know, really get across with a lot of people is, you know, most people come in because they want to lose some weight, feel better, look better, you know, all that sort of stuff. And that's all good, but it's more the quality of life that you're getting
Yeah.
and how it's making day-to-day activities easier.
Yeah.
That I think is a big payoff that people it almost becomes a secondary reason of what
Yeah.
keeps them coming and
Yeah.
stuff like
I mean,
that.
you know, looking good also is a benefit. Like, you know,
Yeah.
I can rock a bikini at my age, and I'm not saying that in a weird way, but like seriously, I have some ab definition, so it's a little bit, you know, that's
Yeah.
kind of cool.
Yeah, no, that's very cool. So,
My husband enjoys it.
yeah. So what do you like most about coming in?
I like the camaraderie. We tend to keep each other motivated, which is handy, and encourage each other to go. Like there's sometimes we do exercises in the finisher that it's 6 to 8 rounds, and you know, when we get to 6, like if it was just you at home, you'd probably quit, you know. But if there's people around, you're like, oh, we can do one
Yeah.
more, you know, we just keep going. So that's kind of handy. But you know, the trainers are fabulous. They're always great and always in a good mood and helpful. So it's kind of nice, you know.
Yeah. No, that's definitely.
It's not static. The routines change constantly because I used to do workout routines on video, and you know, after a while, you're just the same patterns, the same everything. It gets boring and stale. So the routines always change, which
Yeah.
is nice, and I like that a lot. The warm-ups are the same for the most part,
Yeah.
but that's okay. But then the workouts are different. So you know, you're targeting different muscle groups every time you're in.
Yeah.
And since I do come, I'm not back to 4 times a week yet, but I am back to 3 times a week. And so I know that if I worked my abs really hard on Tuesday, then maybe Thursday we're doing, you know, arms and shoulders, that kind of thing. So it's a little different.
Yeah, and that's I think an important part where a lot of people you said like that first week you came in like 5 days a week.
Yeah, I
you're like-
did.
You're like, yeah, this isn't gonna work. Like this is too much. And a lot of people they're so like gung ho. Like
Yeah.
they just want to get going, and they just burn themselves out.
Yeah.
And the long term plan is that 3 to 4 days a week, just keeping that in there.
Yeah.
And where you're at with 3 right now, if you stayed there, that you're gonna keep doing
Yeah.
good with everything. And
I'll
stuff.
eventually add Saturday mornings back
Yeah.
in there, but it's with the dog. We have a puppy, so we're doing training with him on Saturday
Yeah.
mornings, so that's good.
That's good. How's the training going?
He had his first class last week, and it didn't go well.
That's.
He was distracted by everything, and he forgot that he knew how to sit. Like
Yeah.
he knows some commands, but he was like, no.
Yeah.
No.
It takes them some time. There's too much stimulation.
He's only 6 months, so
Yeah.
he's a little bit, yeah.
Good. So, I kind of ask everybody, what's the one exercise you just absolutely hate doing when you come in here?
I don't like the sled pushes, mostly because my feet don't stay in my shoes. I'm between sizes, and I wear size 11 shoes, but I'm actually a 10 and a half.
Yeah.
But they're really hard to find. So when I do them, they come out of my shoes.
Second person that's answered
Yeah.
with that. So,
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The reason we ask is so we can put it in your workouts the next time you're in.
Of course.
But
Of course.
yeah, you're the second person that has answered that.
Well, I'm sure some people probably say burpees or
Yeah.
mountain climbers, but I actually can't do those because I broke my wrist a few years ago. So I use substitutes. So otherwise, they would probably be
Yeah.
on that list.
That brings up a good point. Talk about some of the modifications that you with the wrist.
The wrist,
using
yeah.
that.
I can't put my full weight on my wrist when it's in this position, which leaves out push-ups and mountain climbers, basically anything that you're like that on. But you guys have always been really good about coming up with things that'll work the same muscle groups, but in a slightly different position.
Yeah.
So, for example, instead of doing a push-up, I will lay on my back and do chest presses. So it's the same motion with heavy weights as opposed to me like this, then I'm like this. So it's that kind of thing.
Yeah. I think because that's sometimes an obstacle for a lot of people coming in. They're like, well, my knee, or I have a shoulder issue or back issue and things like that, and it kind of stops them from doing things.
Because they think they can't.
Yeah, and anything can be worked around for the most part, and it's not like by not doing anything, it's not going to get better,
No.
and overall health isn't going to get better. So, if we have to modify some things, that's totally fine.
And I've seen you guys working with people that have had knee surgery or hip surgery, or they threw their back out recently, or they had shoulder surgery. Because I think Doreen had a recent shoulder thing. She played golf. Yeah. So things along those lines, and you guys are really able to adapt things, which is helpful.
Yeah.
Because at home, again, I would just be like, well, I can't do that one, and I would skip it.
Just skip it, yeah.
I wouldn't know what to do in its place, so now it's kind of helpful.
Yeah. And anything else that you'd like to kind of say or tell them about or anything?
I do like, I don't know if you guys are ever getting a tour of this place, but I do like that there's not a lot of machines.
Yeah.
Right? Like you only have a couple of bikes and treadmills and rowers. Everything else is free weights and dumbbells and barbells and stuff. And I actually tell my friends about that, and kettlebells. I'm like, because I like that you're not relying on a machine to help you do the exercise. I like that you're doing it by yourself. And you can see your progression, and you don't have to worry about, am I doing this right or whatever, because there's always someone watching, which is also helpful.
Yes.
Because all the small classes, they all have a trainer with you that they do walk around and they do watch you, even though with a big class, and they'll be like, you know what, arch your back a little bit more, stick your chest out a little bit more, go a little bit lower. Kevin's famous for making me do heavier weights than I would like, because I tend to go a little easier on myself. No, it is good, because he pushes me to go to the next level. He's like, well, you're not really struggling with that, and you could probably go another weight level or go slower. Like if you're not comfortable going heavier, go slower. So that kind of stuff. It's helpful to have that feedback live and while you're doing it, so you can change it. And I will tell you that sometimes he's like, move your feet back just a little bit. You can actually feel the difference. It shifts to a whole other muscle group. Yeah. And I wouldn't have known that because I was still working that one, but it wasn't the one that he wanted me to work. Yeah. So just that little tweak, it does change things in unexpected ways. So.
And that's, you said about like not having the machines and things and allowing your body to do it, because that's how we move in day to day, and we want to train that, so when we're picking stuff up in the yard or doing whatever, we don't hurt ourselves or have our back go out or whatever. You didn't mention this, but another thing a lot of people have said is like, it's really, there's no machines. You guys don't have any mirrors in here either, which is...
I didn't even notice that. That's true.
Because some people like they go into the gym and there's mirrors, and
I don't want to watch myself work out.
It's kind of it's kind of a funny story. I mean, when we first opened years ago, we had ordered them and they never came, and they never billed us for them, and Tammy and I just kind of forgot all about that we ordered them, and it was like 6 months later, we're just like, these mirrors never came, and I'm like, a lot of people have commented they don't like not having them, so just get rid of them. I'm not going to follow up on that.
Not really necessary, I think it's different if you're like studying ballet or something. You need the mirrors to make sure that everything's correct, but we have you guys to let us know if we're doing it physically correctly. Yeah. We don't need mirrors. And frankly, I wouldn't know what I'm looking at in the mirror anyway.
Yeah, well, and I had an experience, this was in college, we always had mirrors in front of the squat rack, so like when you would squat, you could watch yourself squat, see how low you got or whatever. And then they redid our whole weight room, and they didn't have them up or anything. And I couldn't squat because I couldn't visually see myself going down. And it's that mind awareness of where you're at without seeing things. So I think that it is more beneficial to not
focus on how it feels,
focus on where you're at,
rather
how
than
you're
what
moving.
It looks like. Yeah.
So
I will say too, I do like that most of us are of an age. We have the gray hair, things on those lines, because then it is you're with other people going through similar life stuff. So you don't have to necessarily feel bad that, you're not like next to some 16-year-old who can get her butt all the way to the floor. Yeah. Like my butt isn't going to go down there and be falling over, so.
Yeah, and that's, that it is nice having the same kind of people around you. Everyone's got the same goals for the most part. With things.
We basically all want to keep ourselves out of the nursing homes.
Yes.
And we want to be able to continue to have good quality of life, which you're not going to get if you physically can't do stuff. Like I've seen so many people retire and not do anything, and then suddenly they can't do anything.
Yeah. And that's one of the first things too, like, past 40 really, maybe probably even 35 really, is that muscular strength starts to decrease. And you know, you see a lot of people, they do a lot of cardio things, but they don't have the muscular endurance.
Yeah.
And you, even how you said, like going up the stairs, they get winded.
Yeah.
You know, they might be able to run 5-6 miles, no problem, but you give them you know, a briefcase or a work bag to go up steps, they're like, oh, this is so hard.
Right.
So having that muscular strength goes a long way to keeping you healthy, keeping you out of the nursing home.
Yeah.
Basically.
Well, it's also supporting all of those bones that we have, which are getting brittle as you age. They just do. So if you have the muscle support around it, you're less likely to break things.
Yes.
You know, I mean, some things are still going to happen, you know, but maybe you can stave off that hip surgery because you're moving your hip and you're, you know, that kind of thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just the me thing.
Yeah. Well, last question. What would you say to somebody that right now is not working out, but they're, you know, they're in their 40s, 50s, they're not sure that they can do this, but they're thinking about working out. And it doesn't have to be in here, but just, you know, exercising in general. What would you say to kind of help to get them motivated and started?
Well, I was 48 when I joined this gym, so I'm just saying. I think anyone can do it at any age. But I do think start slow, find something that you like, something that motivates you to keep going, because otherwise you're not going to stick with it. Because that's the thing, right? You have to find something that's going to help you stick with it. So I've joined plenty of other gyms before, and it's not, I don't even go a year. Like I'll go 6 months or 3 months or whatever, and then it just kind of peters out, right? Like it'll start snowing and I don't feel like getting in the car anymore and that kind of thing. But you have to find somewhere that's going to keep you motivated.
Yeah.
So I do have that here, like that, and it's not just the trainers, although again, you guys do help keep motivated. It's the people. So we do keep each other motivated. I like it. We're actually involved in each other's lives a little bit. You get to know each other through routines because the same people go to the same classes. You get to know each other and it's small groups. So it does happen. Like we'll come in and we're like, oh hey, like, you know, Doreen just came back from vacation. I'm like, how was Rhode Island? And you know, my bestie is is interviewing somewhere, things along those lines. So it's just kind of, you just say things like that. And we met here, and then through one of your activity events. We got to know each other a little better. The murder mysteries, I highly recommend them if they start having them again.
I think we're going to start.
Hint, hint.
We'll start here in,
They're a lot of
maybe
fun.
in the fall. They were fun.
They really
yeah.
are. But so now every time we see each other, Michelle and I, we just holler across like bestie, and that's going back to the first one. So they're a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think we'll start bringing those back here this fall, and you know, getting all that all back to normal. With everything.
But it's like a family. So you just kind of get to know each other, and then you just, you know, you're rooting for them, they're rooting for you, the trainers are rooting for you, we tell each other corny jokes, Kevin's famous for dad jokes, you know, things on those lines, so, you know, it's all good.
Yeah. Well, good. Well, thanks for coming in today. It's nice talking with you, and thank you guys for listening. If you like this, you can subscribe, leave a comment or review, that helps us out, but tune in next time, we'll talk to you then.
Bye guys.